not be taught the Bible. And I understand that a lot of the a lot of our culture, especially, still that overly aggressive approach appeals.
Yeah.
And we like it too from time to time. But to say that, to know that this is the only way, or to think this is the only way, I got to be out of breath in order to appeal to a certain group of people is just wrong.
Yeah, it is.
But we have a demographic that responds to that.
That responds to that, yeah. The more transactional it is,
Yes.
the more fluff and exciting it is.
Yeah.
The more I run with it.
Trendy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gimmicky.
Yes.
Yep.
Which is why it changes all the time.
Yeah.
Changes all the time.
Yeah, it has to.
Yeah. And we're all for
Innovation.
Yes. And evolving.
Absolutely.
With
Absolutely.
You just take the old thing and repackage it in a way that fits a new group without messing with the integrity of
That's right.
the thing.
That's right. Innovation is phenomenal.
Yeah.
God, we read from Genesis to Revelation, he reveals himself in ever increasingly different, but he doesn't stop being who he was.
Yep.
And I just, this Christian nation thing, which we're not.
Yeah, we never been.
We're not. You can't say we're a Christian nation, and we had to have a family fight to get rid of slavery.
Right.
You can't talk. And then to still have that same principle of separation and discrimination happening. We can't call ourselves a quote unquote Christian nation. We have Christian principles, but there are some things that Christians are condoning that are not biblical.
Yep.
For instance, marginalized people, according to the Bible, according to Jesus, are supposed to be cared for.
Yep.
They're supposed to be a leg up. We're supposed to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, house those that are without homes.
Yep.
But that seems to be something that the Christian nationalists don't think they ought to do.
Yep.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus taught it.
And I've had one tell me that, they believe we're a Christian nation, but it's not the government's job to help that. It's the church's job to help with the poor. But if we're a Christian nation and we run by Christian principles, I'm just saying, it's supposed to govern how you act.
And here's the issue. When I do that, when a person does that, says what you just said was said to you, it relieves me of any responsibility for them.
Yep.
And puts the burden that only a government could afford to do on a church.
Yep.
The church is supposed to help. The church is supposed to be the conduit.
Yeah.
The place that people can go. That means that a wise government would facilitate the church dealing with a need that we're closer to it than they are. We're closer to the solution than they are. But to say it's not the government's job, it's the church's job, so I can take my hands off the problem is
no. It's two things. The Deuteronomy scripture we're reading for missions offering this month talks about if your person comes to you as poor, don't tell them to wait until the year of Jubilee. If the need is there, don't push it off and say you're going to get it later.
That's egregious.
Do it right then.
That's offensive to me.
I know. And the other thing, Bishop Jakes, was talking to one of the aforementioned people you were discussing earlier, without saying the name.
Yeah.
And the person brought up that premise of the church is supposed to take care of the poor, and he was like, "Let's do the math." He broke it down.
Yeah.
And he went through it. How are X amount of people in church, and then out of the X amount of people tithe, and every church only has a certain amount of funds.
That's right.
How are we going to meet this need that's this big?
That's national. Here's my other problem.
Yeah, come on.
Here's my other problem.
Yeah.
And this has upset me for years. Americans are willing to adopt children from another country.
Yep.
Feed people in another country. And step over their own hunger here in the United States.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
We love monkeys, but we don't love people enough to help them. I don't get it.
Yeah. And that lie of pulled by your bootstraps. When
You gotta have
everybody
boots
has
first.
help.
You
Thank you.
You gotta have boots first.
Everybody's had help getting to where they're going.
Every single person.
even if you were born in money.
Either they did it legally or illegally,
right.
but you got to acquire boots in order to pull them up.
I know.
Come on, man.
I know. We've lost the people. I wouldn't say we've lost it. America's really never had. Because if you start a country on war, start a country on taking people's property,
Right.
but the country was built on violence. Let's be real here.
We have situational morality.
Thank you.
Okay.
And that violence is maintained.
And situational spirituality.
Yes. Yeah. Very much situational. And I was
Because we condone violence when it suits us.
absolutely.
For instance, now maybe you're closer to the historical thing than I am. I need to know why Americans feel as though we can tell people in another country what to do rather than suggest, and then have a problem with that country if they don't do exactly what we tell them to do.
Yeah.
When we won't let anybody tell us what to do.
We have this arrogant moral high ground.
Okay.
And it's framed in a lot of people growing up.
Okay.
That democracy and capitalism is the greatest thing on earth.
Okay.
And, we are the beacon of light for the world and all that stuff like that.
Supposed to be.
But people forget kingdoms rise and fall. It's the nature of how life works. Roman Empire is still not the greatest.
Right.
It ebbs and flows
Right.
and one day the United States, I'm not saying anytime soon, I want this to happen, there could be another superpower that raises up.
If we don't get ourselves together.
And it's
the ingredients of a real national problem are on the table. We've got to decide, do we want democracy to go forward? Or do we want to keep acknowledging all this nonsense? I'm not sure at times what we stand for as a nation.
Yeah.
When I look politically, spiritually, I'm not sure what we stand for. Because even in Christianity, there's this hate group called Christian nationals within the body. That cannot be what the Bible describes as Christian.
Yeah.
But the Bible says you can't hate your brother and love him.
Yeah. But to them, what I'm learning about them, their view of God is he's anti these people, which we know is wrong.
Well,
okay with these people. And they're using God, again, as a means to an end.
Maybe it's their version of the Bible.
It is their version.
Is it printed? Does it say those things?
No, anytime slaves took out the freedom parts of the Bible.
That's true.
Thomas Jefferson had a Bible, took out some parts of it. It's a continuous thing of picking and choosing.
So the stuff I don't like, I don't believe.
I take that stuff out.
Well, that kind of happens today.
It isn't certain.
That happens today. Not just on the political front, but just on. I don't know why we think because we change what we believe that changes God. But we give the impression, okay, I don't believe this anymore, so that changes what God said. Come on.
I know.
Got Tom on the phone. 866-743-8267. 866-743-8267. Evans. Give us a call. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm Bishop Dave G. Evans. This is Reverend Nicholas Smith. We're getting ready to talk to Tom. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor
Hey,
Nick?
John, how you doing?
How you doing this morning?
Pretty good. Bishop, before I get into the arrogance of the U.S., just have to bring up something I saw last week.
Okay.
Our Senator Rick Scott is campaigning down here in southern Florida.
For what?
And he's used for Senate to get back in.
Okay.
He was the governor. He was our last governor.
Okay.
So after his term was up, he became a senator.
Okay.
But he's down here campaigning, and people aren't picking up on his code words, and especially in the Spanish community, saying those democratic socialists, those democratic communists. And what people aren't getting is that when he says that to Cubans and people from Argentina and all these other, that is a key word to them.
Oh, yeah.
And he is so soft-spoken. It sounds so innocent coming out of his mouth. And I'm thinking, people aren't getting it. And there's no Democrats down here, firing up on the other side of that.
I mean, your example of the Cubans, that language they're highly sensitive to that language.
Extremely.
So he's trying to be divisive, but he's trying to be really slick about it.
I don't know the correct word. Sneaky's the best way of putting it, I guess.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
He's like I said, he is so soft-spoken. If you don't pay attention, you're not even like, oh, that didn't sound that bad.
But here's the thing, though. Tom, do you think that the people that he's targeting are picking up on the tactic that he's using? Or do you think they're being folded in?
I think he's folded in. I think he's being naive to what he's actually saying, that it's not a big deal.
But I would think that their political leaders, the savvy ones, and the ones that have been the thinkers, the strategic ones, would notice, okay, this is the language they're using for us to bring us over into their side. But there's no counter message.
That's my problem. That there has to be people out there. I am not a super genius, and I see it, so they must see the same thing. And I'm thinking, why is there no response or rebuttal? Maybe something's coming.
Okay.
But I heard somebody said, I heard one of the congresswomen down here being upset at the Democratic Party, saying they're letting South Florida go. They aren't going after it. They've already conceded.
So tell me, what is this bill that Governor DeSantis signed, a Chaplain Bill opposed by pastors, Satanists, and the ACLU? Man, he got everybody. What did he do?
Bishop, I'm not totally versed on it to talk a lot about it, but this past week, everybody was chiming in on it, and he was backing off of it a little bit, almost like it's not his bill. He was just cooperating.
Come on, man. All of a sudden, he's not responsible in Florida. Come on, man.
Well, he kept on like that.
They did something without his permission in Florida suddenly?
He kept on like that. He was a Disney thing. It's like he started it, but I was just doing what the people wanted.
I don't think I've ever seen pastors, Satanists, and ACLU in unison on anything.
He hasn't been to Florida in a while.
His thing is that he wants to create, which is not necessarily a bad idea.
Okay.
A place for students to go to if they want like religious kind of chaplaincy type thing in schools.
Okay.
So it is voluntary. The challenge is some other pastors are saying, well, what type of, with all the Christian nationalism and all that stuff like that, what kind of pastoring are these kids going to get, number one?
Okay.
The Satanists are like, okay, so you're allowed to have Christianity in here. We want to get into for our children.
Okay.
The ACLU, of course, they like keep
anybody,
religion
everybody. Yeah,
right.
Everybody.
And this is the thing that I think Christian conservatives need to remember. If you're going to fight for your religious freedom,
other people are too. Why are they so shocked when other people say me too?
Yeah, you can't say freedom religiously and then in parentheses
except
somewhere,
you guys.
Except y'all. Yeah, that's what we're seeing.
Go ahead, man.
It depends on what minister or what Christian values I may be listening to. I may not like your particular Christian values either. Depending if you're out there,
I don't know what because I don't know who they are, who decide that Christians believe this and decide Christians believe that. But why are they so shocked when there's a response to what they say?
Yeah.
I mean, you're saying, okay, you want to take all the books out of the library that have sex and violence in them. Well, you better go get every Bible.
Yep. Take them right out.
You don't like some kind of scandalous sexual stuff going on. You better grab every Bible in every library and take it out. because the Bible is clear on what real life looks like and what happens in real life. People kill people. People don't know what to do. Doc, they're in there.
And in one place they were doing that. They were fighting to get the Bible taken out because of that reason. You're banning these books.
You're
take
banning
this one
all
out.
these books. I mean, what is a more complete dissertation on humanity than the Bible? The good and the bad.
And the bad.
Hey, Bishop, let me leave you with this. The thing with Israel and Iran, with this missile thing, it's a wink, wink. What I mean is that the Iranians, they threw everything they had at Israel. Only less than 1% of that stuff got through. Israel then retaliated with minimum stuff, and it all got through. And the wink, wink is, you can shoot at us, but you can't hit us. We can shoot at you, and we're going to be on target. I think that's why the Iranians said, okay, this is okay for now, and we're not going to, take us any farther.
I mean, did they actually think that Israel would not respond? And why is the United States telling them, okay, they tried to get you guys, your technology was on, you got everything that they sent, but don't you swing back. Why don't you just try to talk to them? We wouldn't do that.
I know.
No.
They are trying to appease, and I don't live the areas. I'm pro innocent life in general. Both sides of innocent people die. But that pro-Palestinian crowd that's like blocking highways and doing all that stuff, they're trying to appease that crowd. When it's like, yo, let's have some common sense here. We can mourn and be upset about the loss of innocent life in any war. But at the same time, if somebody, like you said, hit us, we would want us to respond.
The United States.
Come on.
If some country decided to bomb an island that we had in the middle of the ocean, the United States would not say, okay, we understand you're upset. We wouldn't do it. And guess what? And only a few Americans would idealistically be so entrenched that they would say, just leave the hostages there. Just, don't do anything. Just act like it didn't happen.
No, we would.
Until it happens on their street.
Well, not only that, if we were attacked, I believe we would become one nation under God. Real quick.
Like 9/11.
All together.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's easy for us to say that when the only wars we ever had on our property are wars that we were like 1812, the Civil War, long time ago. Long. Thank you. Time ago. Yeah. And I mean, they bombed Pearl Harbor, but we didn't go to war on American soil. We went to where they were. It's easier for us to say that when.
And the reality is this, Bethany. You got guys that are touting violence, that are acting like they want to go up against the United States military. They do not. They do not. Come on.
I know.
Stop playing.
Bishop.
Yeah, man.
I know I got to get off, but I'm telling you, when I worked for that defense contractor and we sold military weapons to other countries, cause I remember the first time I was involved in the sale, and I'm like, man, we sold them ourselves? They were like, no, Tom, that's the old stuff that we're giving them. And it was funny how, but you know what? Israel was the only country I can remember. I don't know everything, but we sold them our top stuff.
Of course.
Other than that, everybody else got
the stuff that was outdated.
Yeah, well,
the old technology.
It was dated.
Yeah, old technology.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the Japanese, countries that are still on the edge. I mean, this stuff compared to Russian or Chinese stuff was better. So it was cutting edge stuff, but we had. I haven't been working for the company in a minute.
I'm glad you put that. I'm glad you put that in there.
They had. Woo! It was spooky to see some of the stuff that was
I'm amazed.
behind closed doors.
Tom, I'm amazed that they're actually illegal arms dealers that are free, that are making millions of dollars around the world, which means they're transporting stuff around the world, and they're living like these kind of fugitive lives, but very wealthy lives. How do you evade governments for 25 and 30 years?
Yeah, I try not to be a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I try not to be.
You can be one this morning.
Okay. I'm James Bond.
Yeah.
So I love the newer ones with Daniel Craig.
Sure.
Sean Connery ones are good, but
Yep.
I would not be surprised. These wars just don't happen out of nowhere.
Oh, no.
I wouldn't be surprised. There was some planned strategic stuff with multiple agencies. I'm not an Illuminati guy, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's staged stuff to get some wars,
there's a purpose to
some
life.
money.
Yeah.
It ain't no I decided to bomb this country this day.
Just arbitrarily.
There's
No.
some stuff behind the scenes with multiple people.
Yeah. Banking's involved.
Yeah.
You know, the flow of currency is involved.
Yeah.
You know, what it's going to impact, what it's going to affect. Oil's involved. I know when we were in either Iran or Afghanistan, I think President Bush's either Secretary of Defense or someone owned the company that had the contract.
Vice President did.
Vice President.
Yeah. Blackrock or Blackwater, one
Yeah,
of them.
had the contract for the armaments and whatnot and the construction going on over there. Made billions of dollars
As the Vice President.
as the Vice President.
I'm just saying. But I mean, I use the whole spectrum model, but I just would not be surprised if.
And that goes back even to the 50s with the banana republics in South America when the CIA was setting up.
Unbelievable
I
stuff.
think it's part of our history.
And even part of that flowed into the drug business in California.
Snowfall, good movie, good show.
Yeah.
Crazy, but good show.
I gotta watch it. I haven't watched it yet.
It's a good show.
Snowfall. Okay.
On Hulu, yeah.
I gotta try to get it. That's probably why I haven't seen it. It's on Hulu.
Yeah.
Tom, thanks for calling us, man.
Hey, guys, have a great day.
Talk
right,
to you
man.
soon.
Hey, thanks.
866-743-8267-867. We'd love to talk to you this morning. We've got line 6. I don't know who that is yet, but I see that Duke ends the full ride scholarship program for select black students after the affirmative action ruling. Is anybody surprised?
No. I have a challenge with this.
Go ahead.
I think we talked about this before.
Okay.
If you or I got to a certain place in corporate America, the viewpoint of some is that must have been an affirmative action hire, a DEI hire, But if it's somebody else that doesn't look like us, they qualified for it, they deserve it.
Yes.
Why is it not we worked hard too and worked our way up? It's the automatic assumption.
Almost like we need help, but some other people don't.
Yeah.
Now,
it was given to us.
I can remember being the first African American at the vice president level in 2 of the 4 top banks in the world. I had some very, very for career-threatening conversations with my superiors because, they would ask you these questions. And one bank right here in New Jersey, I asked them, how could the bank be located a mile from Trenton, New Jersey? And I'm the first executive of color in the history of the bank. I'm not talking about in human resources. I'm talking about the money side of the bank. Okay. And and then while I was at that bank, I experienced the red line thing. This side of the red line, very few things asked to secure a loan. That side of the red line, regardless of the success of the business, we want your firstborn child.
Yeah.
We want your next 3 houses. It was just, and I said something in a board meeting one day. I said, I just need to get some clarity. Tell me why this guy, it was enough for you guys to say he was a good guy. He got $20 million. This guy wants $5 million, which he really does not need. And we want everything that he has.
Yeah.
Tell me the difference. They couldn't explain it. I saw him give money to a guy that had been just out of bankruptcy. And the thing was, he's a good guy. We trust him.
Yeah. See, that's my problem. Relationship connections and hires and advancement is okay for y'all.
Yeah.
But over here is wrong.
No good.
Nepotism all day long over here. But
I experienced it. I saw it. And I realized that they brought me into the bank not to succeed, just to satisfy some corporate guilt. But then after I got there, it was like, okay, you guys are gonna give me the shot. And they gave me the worst assignment they could give me. I turned it completely around, made it profitable, and then all of a sudden it was like, wait a minute. But that was an opportunity. Now, it wasn't equal because they put me there because they thought I was going to fail. So if you put me in a situation, if you throw me in quicksand, don't be surprised if I can't swim. But if I do swim, don't take credit for me being there.
Yep. And I think some of the young people that are a little more militant you said something I think they need to understand. Yeah. You understood that it was a hire partially to ease their guilt, but you didn't get offended by it.
Nope.
You went in there, did your job,
Nope.
and proved it. Nowadays, I ain't doing it because, go in there and make the change.
How do you get in the door if you don't go in the door?
There you go. Just get in and make change.
And then can you be a perfect employee for 8 hours a day? Yes.
Yep.
Is it fair? Probably not.
We're not raising this generation on. We were raised on, you were, I was. This isn't fair. You got to do more, double than everybody else. Is it right? No. But this group, they're not raised on that, and they're wondering, they're starting to see the reality of it.
Well,
and they're not
handling it.
They're not handling it well.
No. Just, it's like this. I've got friends that I found out were friends. Until I had an issue.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, they weren't friends. I contend that your real friends show up in the worst parts of your life.
Yes, sir.
That the chapters of your life that are dismal, where you are your saddest, feeling your most rejected, those friends are in those chapters.
Yes, sir. Yep.
So if you can read those chapters, you go back and read those chapters of your life, and certain people missing from those chapters, I contend they weren't your friend.
Nope. Rather just being present. You don't have to know what to say. Just be available.
Just be there. But when I'll see you after this chapter is over.
Yeah. Or unless they're glad you're in the chapter, though.
Well, yeah.
Oh, it's finally it's so-and-so's time.
Something finally happening to you. Yeah. That can happen, too. I won't be naive about it.
I know.
So, do you think other major universities are going to follow this flow?
They've been doing it already.
Are they doing it already?
They've been cutting these DEI programs all over the country.
So that means people are losing their jobs, and folk that had some kind of opportunity, possibilities are not happening.
They cutting them all up. But keeping the legacy stuff alive.
Let's talk about sports for a minute.
I know.
Oh, we got Sharon from Dallas. Let's go to that. Let's go to Sharon. So we got to talk about sports for a minute.
Sure.
All right. Sharon, how you doing?
I'm fine. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How's things in Dallas?
It's it's rainy.
Okay. It's raining here too.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. But listen now, I'm just going to change the subject for just a little bit. You all ready for this?
Go ahead.
Okay. What are we going to do with this guy who tossed us and burned himself up in the United States over political stuff? I mean, we got a lot of things going, but I've never seen anything like that.
So at Trump's thing yesterday, a guy lit himself on fire outside the courthouse.
Lit himself on fire?
Oh, did he?
He died, too. He did die. Yeah, he lit himself on fire. CNN was reporting out there.
Okay.
And the lady just happened to see a fire break out and saw the guy lit himself on fire. And
so, for Trump, against Trump?
We don't know.
What was he saying?
He didn't say anything.
Nothing.
Just lit himself on fire outside.
He's protesting something.
Yeah, we don't know yet unless they find something.
Well, he was protesting the way in which Trump was being mistreated.
So he lit himself on fire?
Yeah, he lit himself on fire.
And how did that benefit President Trump in any way?
Well, it did. He probably didn't even care about the guy.
Right, I'm like,
I'm just saying, like, I've seen a lot in my lifetime, but I've never seen this before. You know, we've got a lot of things going. I could talk all day about the children shooting in school, parents getting ready to go to prison for what their children are doing and with guns and stuff. But I've never seen anything like this before.
How old are you? Can I ask?
Oh, let me kind of keep it. I'm seasoned.
because I do remember. I do remember people going that far in my lifetime, and I think I'm probably a little older than you. I remember people in my lifetime setting themselves on fire to make a point.
Really?
Yes.
Whew. Okay.
Which is absolutely. You got to be unbalanced to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
absolutely.
do you think we have an outbreak of mental illness in our country that's going around?
I think I know you're serious, but yes. And what I think happened, this is just me from a counseling point of view. Something about the isolation and the threat of COVID and the stress related to that, what's going on now, and the denial now that it actually exists when we know it still exists, shows us the impact psychologically and emotionally that the season of COVID had on people. Emotionally, psychologically, you watch people making decisions, but you may have one or two friends. I know all your friends are balanced, but you may have one or two friends that you notice that their quirkiness became more severe over the last 3-4 years. And there can't be a coincidence that all of the whatever that came along with COVID, social pressure, psychological pressure, physiologically isolated, all that stuff, spiritually challenged, all that stuff seemed to magnify whatever quirkiness some of the people around us had. If you take an average of your friends and the ones that were always a little strange or a little different, you may notice that there was an uptick in their strangeness.
So what do you? I mean, like we've in our community too, because I am African American. Of course, you know by my voice. But what do? What we have got to sound the alarm that you all need some help, because it's getting to the point now where people are starting back to lock up in their houses and don't want to go out, don't want to socialize. So what are we going to do?
For us as a people, we've gotten away from a lot of things that brought us through the different seasons that the culture has gone through.
Normalcy.
We that whole spiritual piece that we had that was strong, that family piece that we had that was very strong, that sharing history with one another, that is no longer a prominent aspect, a prominent principle in our culture. There's a lot of things we got away from, attempting to be modern, but also imitating other cultures. That was fundamental and foundational to us that we got away from. And there's a direct correlation between what I call the weakness of us as a culture. Overall, not everybody, overall, spiritual weakness, cultural identity, a lot of things that we used to be very strong at. And we always had our own problems internally, color differences and things like that. But the walk away from God cannot be ignored. Yeah. We need to get back to the Lord.
Well, let me ask you one more thing. I'm going to let you go. I don't want to. Okay, being that you are the wonderful person that you are, so many ministers and things, don't you think it's like you need to have a come to Jesus meeting with all of them to bring us back to a place and a point where we can save our own people? Well, I mean, I'm just looking around and
I think so. I think
I'm seeing things.
Yeah, I think cool. In our fellowship of churches, I have been touting for years the fundamentals of the faith, because I believe that's what makes us strong in our faith. And we have intentionally been teaching, at this point, thousands of people the Word of God in such a way that it strengthens their discipleship, which means it strengthens their lives. But I'm not sure a lot of my contemporaries are responding to the stress of the culture with the Bible.
Oh my.
I think we're being so innovative that we're not strengthening the Christianity of people. We're not teaching them the book in such a way. You got a I'm okay, you're okay kind of gospel going on, and God loves you like you are, and you don't have to change, and that kind of thing happening. So we need to take transformation out of the book. We need to take unity out of the book, if that's the way we're going to teach people, because transformation is about it. That's what being saved is about.
True.
Growing in grace, maturing in Christ, transformation of the mind. If that's not change, I don't know what is.
And not a motivational lesson.
Oh, come on, man.
It's not just life principles.
I'm not a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
Pastor Nick is not a motivational speaker. What we preach motivates people
Right,
to
yes.
stronger relationship with Christ.
Yes.
Yeah, read the Bible.
But yeah, you gotta teach people the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I just think that as a group, preachers as a group, we may not be having the best response to the issues that our people are facing all the time. They came back after COVID quite different, challenged, and some changed. So now there's this medicine of the gospel that needs to be applied at this point. And I'm not sure a lot of people have the courage not to be trendy, but to be effective.
And
Well-
the work to do it.
And the work that makes you,
You got to put the
Okay.
work in to do this one.
Yeah.
Well, if you start something, I know people here, and I'll put the word out because something needs to happen. Because I'm looking at it, I'm sure you are from the conversation that we're having now. You all are seeing it too, and I'm just holding my hands up. We need help. Our
Yeah.
people need help.
We've been on the attack for quite a while. We tend to appear to swim upstream a lot, but the upstream is against cultural flows, and negative spiritual flows. We tend to, we don't back up from the challenges. When we see them, we go after them. And that has always been the way it is. But people, folk that would rather be a place where the teaching and the preaching and stuff doesn't challenge them. Whether they're not stimulated to grow. So people are walking away from wisdom. And this whole my truth thing is a trick of the enemy.
And another thing too, and I'm gonna let you go. I think I'm looking at a lot of them are sad from their history and not embracing. Yeah, it happened. Slavery happened to us. It did. So what do we do about it now? We can't hide from it. We have to embrace and teach it to our children so they won't repeat it.
But that's not happening.
No, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. It's
we
not.
gotta do something.
The families are not sitting down. This is what we went through. This is what your grandmother and your great grandfather they went through. They're not sharing that history. So these children are walking around now actually thinking that they're the same as everyone. They should be treated the same, but they're not the same.
And they have to have strength enough to stand if something happens to stand on the truth.
Yeah.
And say, but okay, that's just me.
Okay. Good talking to you.
It was good talking to you all. Thank you so much.
Talk
God
to you
bless
soon.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Sharon from Dallas. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. I am of the opinion, sports. I am absolutely a Caitlin Clark fan. Nobody's saying, at least I haven't heard it yet, as to why there's such a surge in popularity for her, other than her ball game. I believe that she's like Larry Bird. And I believe, just like anybody else, they're excited about her. They've been LeBron'd out. Here comes this young white girl who can really do this thing. And I think that's part of the popularity. We like seeing our own do well, especially in basketball, in the sport, where it's been dominated for years by people of color. So part of popularity, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. Somebody they can root for that looks like them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Great Hope.
Yes.
That's
That's
really, yeah.
And you cannot take away from the girl
she's
what
good.
she can do.
She's good. Yep.
And the rest of the WNBA needs to be quiet. Their Tiger Woods has arrived. Mm-hmm. When Tiger came to golf, this same haterade was all spilled on the floor, all on the table. It was on the walls. But then they started noticing that when he rose, all their salaries went up, all their invitations went up, and now they're getting money from everywhere. But this started with Tiger Woods. Like the ladies didn't like the Williams sisters. But if Venus hadn't gone to war at Wimbledon in England, the ladies would still be making unequal money.
Yeah. So
they hated them, but they benefit from them.
Yeah. So I mean, the draft was highly viewed,
more so than ever.
Right, highly viewed, and and I hope her game translates.
It will.
Asia and all them.
It will.
Now I'm okay with the competitive. Come on, bring it in. Let's rock and roll. But understand, like you said, this is going to benefit whether you like it or not. It's going to benefit the WNBA.
I think
y'all going to benefit from it.
I think there's a lot about her that the current participators in the WNBA don't care for.
Okay.
I think she's got this wonderful family. I think she's got, she's got these brothers that love her. She's got, she's got this nuclear family. She got this boyfriend. She got, just everything's just, she got this, wholesome thing working, and she happens to play basketball.
Yeah.
That's her cultural contemporaries don't present the same image.
Yeah.
Did I say that tactfully?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I hope it works out for all of them, and it's good because her, Asia, all the other ones have really come in, and if they have strong rookie years, I think it'll be
sky's the limit.
Yeah, it'll work.
And I understand Caitlin just got a $20 million contract from Nike.
She got a couple endorsements.
Nice ones.
Yeah. Okay. So
she hasn't even had to throw the ball yet.
No, she got shoe deal. She got so.
She's a multimillionaire already, but she was already had the NIL. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, they all the NIL. Yeah. Now I do, going back to the unfairness part. I do understand, like you said, that the majority culture appreciate that they got somebody that looks like
absolutely.
Them. At the same time, this is for corporations now.
Okay.
I get it's all finance, it's all so and so. You got somebody like Asia and all the rest of them who are good, got star power. Put a little rocket under them to help boost them up too. And I get it's all fine, but we've talked about it last week. The cultural money in these organizations are different.
That's right.
Which
they got a different pot for different people.
So this show is doing just as good as this one.
Yep.
But won't.
Budget for this is different than the budget for this. It's egregious. Let's get Scott before we go. Hey, Scott, how you doing,
Scott.
man?
Bishop Evans, Preston Nick, what's going on?
All right, man. We got about 3 minutes. Go.
Sixers. Who you got in the series between Sixers and the Knicks?
Probably the Sixers, because what's his name is out from Randall from the New York is out.
Randall's
He's out for the season, yeah. He something to his shoulder.
But the guy whose family's from here is really playing ball.
Jalen Brunson.
Brunson, yeah.
Man, he's playing. Leon would say he's playing like a grown man.
Yeah.
But that'd be a home, bro. I gotta go with our Sixers.
I gotta go with the Sixers. Yeah. I'm a homie when it comes to that. I gotta go with this. Even though Brunson's and I know him and he's on New York but I gotta root against him this time. But I expect him to play well.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So. I think one guy that's going to help us out is I know he's up there in age with Kyle Lowry. The moment won't be too big for him. He's seasoned, of course, and he's won a championship with Coach Nurse. So that's going to be my X factor. And of course, the Batman and Robbie are going to have to play an A game, Maxey and Embiid. But like I said, the bench player to me is going to be Kyle Lowry. And look how that light skinned brother went off, Rico Batum. Man, he was draining those threes that last game. So
was he doing good?
The moment wasn't too big for him either.
Okay.
But guys, appreciate you taking my call.
Absolutely,
talk to you.
man.
Have a good day.
Talk to you
See you,
soon.
man.
Now.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
So, Embiid was playing.
He's back. I'm scared for his knees.
That's too quick, isn't it?
I don't know what they got this new medicine now.
It ain't.
They got these jokers coming back.
Yeah, but they break down.
I know.
There's a theory out there, and we can talk about it another time, that all this new exercises
Yeah.
and avoiding the basic movements as much as they should is why these injuries are being so prevalent. I've never seen so many Achilles injuries since I've been watching sports.
All the joint-based stuff is real.
Oh, yeah,
the
man.
Knees, the joints,
yeah,
and it just,
yeah. I'm not sure that this new stuff they got them doing isn't actually incrementally weakening the joints rather than strengthening them, like the straightforward leg presses and all that used to.
Yeah, it makes them more dynamic, but like you said, they're some are just as brittle as.
Yeah, they go and they break going laterally, which if you're doing all these lateral exercises and you break going laterally, my doctor explained to me, he said Achilles does not usually go at once. Said it gets these little micro tears in it over and over again.
Okay.
You know, like when mine, I have to stretch mine every day, a couple times a day. He said if you don't, you get these little micro tears, and then that builds up over time,
And it just
weakens the
it pops
and then
just
boom,
right
and
there.
then boom.
Wow.
Anyway,
Interesting.
tomorrow, Sunday, we want to invite all of you to come and be a part of our worship. We're having such a dynamic crowd. Look, I know every pastor says that, but the word's on the street. You need to just come on over and enjoy the Lord with us. The worship is phenomenal. We're in a series on the Holy Spirit called Unlimited You. It's just, we're having a great time. People are getting saved. It's just a glorious time in the Lord. 8 o'clock is our virtual service. 11 o'clock is our in-house live service. People are coming from all over. They're driving from all over to experience the worship, and they hear this teaching on the Holy Spirit. It's just been phenomenal. If you want to get up and keep updates with us, all you have to do is BBC News to 28950. If you want to get inspirational messages during the week, BBC Elevate to 28950. That's the text thing. Now, we want you to come. Tomorrow we have our pinning day tomorrow?
Yes,
or not?
tomorrow. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Our theme this year is Lord, break my heart for what breaks yours. And we have a pinning ceremony. We all have pins tomorrow. We're going to pray, have a good time. You can be a part of that also. Just come on over. You don't need vaccinations. Masks are optional. So those of you that want to wear them like I do, wear them. If you don't have to. Everything's cool. I don't know what else to say.
I think that's it. I think we're good.
Yeah. So we hope you enjoyed the conversation today. For Pastor Nicholas Smith, I'm Bishop Dave G. Evans. Thank you for joining us on Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. It's live at David G. Evans 1. Now, remember, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. See you next time on Point.